What's up, y'all? It's Mr. 6'8" back in the house at you with a new video. And look, I just wanted to sit here and share with y'all the 5 things that I have learned on this side before turning 34. Roll that beautiful bean footage. I got a couple of things to say. Pull up a seat. Check it out.
Hi, this is Mr. 6'8" coming at you. Is the microphone on? Do it talk out loud? Well, if it's talking out loud, what is it saying? It's saying that this channel is simply about bridging the gap between gays, lesbians, trans, heterosexual, pansexual, demisexual, and us all coming under one roof and being just unified. Because that's what it's all about. So sit back, grab your drink, grab your snack, because it's about to be a bumpy ride. Let's get it.
Okay, so I have been doing some real soul searching for the last couple of weeks before on this side of turning 34. And for many of you all know, my birthday is less than a month away. Okay, I'm a November baby. Okay, let's get that out the way. Scorpio in the house. Whoop, whoop. Okay, now that we got that out the way. So, 5 things that I have learned on this side of before turning 34. I would definitely say number 1 is protect your energy at all costs. Now, what do I mean by this? I mean in terms of protecting your energy, meaning that keeping yourself surrounded with the right people. I have learned over the last year that it is so important on who you let have access to your life fully, because who you allow to have access to your life fully really dictates on as far as your well-being, whether it's mentally or physically, as well as your happiness. I believe that if you surround yourself with like-minded people, meaning that people who have the same thought or process with you, and they don't have to, as far as agree with everything that you agree on, but people who at least have things that you can relate to that are like-minded, or people that can elevate you, rather. I would put it that way. But if you're always bringing in people who are always negative, pulling you down, always finding yourself in conflict with the person, that person is just not for you. I'm just gonna go ahead and say and put it out there. That person is not for you, sis, bro. Get rid of them. Okay. So that's number 1. Number 2, I've learned that life is not gonna always go the way that we want it to go all the time. Okay. By now, I would have thought that I would have been long, married, settled down, in love, kids, the whole 9 yards, white picket fence. Like, I'm a sucker for love. Anybody that knows me knows I'm a sucker for love. I can't help that I'm emotionally set up this way, but I am a sucker for love. And with that being said, I would have thought by now that my life would have been so far advanced than what it is. And I used to hold it against myself. But what I had to come to realize is that sometimes people have their own progress as to how they get through life, meaning that what somebody else's progress may be, it may not be as far as your progress, meaning that this, just because it took this person X amount of time to do this or X amount of time to do that, or just because it worked out for this person this way, it does not mean that your life was supposed to happen in that exact same pattern. Because we all have to learn that on this side of the living, okay, we all have a journey in life. And with that journey in life, I feel like that your journey is meant for you specifically, because you have to allow yourself to be a vessel to be able to share your story of how you made it through something that somebody else may be going through. So therefore, that's why I say that, you can't compare somebody else's timeline to your timeline, okay? Just because it took 1 year, okay, for Johnny, Billy, Suzanne, okay, Lil Ray Ray, Lil Noop Noop to do X, Y, and Z, it does not mean that it may take you a year. It may take you a couple of years, okay? But that's okay, because the slow and steady finishes the race. And that's what I've had to learn, okay? I used to be so hard on myself because I thought, oh my God, all of this has to happen on this side of before turning 30. And now here it is, I am 33, okay? And going into 34. And it's just like, I don't have kids. I'm not in a relationship. I've never been married. I've never really experienced, I feel like, healthy love in a relationship. And I've come to realize that those things are something that like really used to cripple me or make me feel in a crippled state to where it just felt like that, oh my God, I feel like I'm so out of touch or so out of tune with what is going on in the world because everybody else has, pretty much moved on with their lives since high school. So what I've had to learn is that, maybe it just wasn't meant for me at this particular time. Or who knows, maybe it's not meant for me at all. Maybe there's a different path, okay, that I've had to sit here and as far as discover for myself and find out for myself, okay, in order to get to that place to where I can, okay, have those things. And so I've had to learn how to be patient with myself. I've had, as far as to learn that Rome was not built in a day. I thank God for having solid people who have been able to instill in me over the last couple of months that it's okay that everything is not done okay when you want it on time, and that having your own timeline is perfectly fine. You just have to learn how to adapt and keep it going, okay? Just because once again it worked for somebody else, don't use that same formula. Do what works for you on your own accord. So that way you can feel secure, okay, about whatever it is, because you can't follow everybody else's suit. If somebody else jumped off a mountain, would you sit here and do it because they did it? No. So that's why I'm saying you just have to learn how to really embrace, okay? And as a black gay man, that's something that has been very hard for me because living in not just Atlanta, but just in the world, period, as a gay person, period. I think we all know. I mean, single people, heterosexual people, they can identify the whole thing of trying to have this whole, well-rounded life of where kids, married, happiness, money, all of that stuff. We all want that, whether you gay, straight, bisexual, no, it doesn't matter. We all want that. But everybody has their own journey, okay? Everybody has their own path. Everybody has their own fate. And sometimes those things are beyond our control. So I've had to learn patience. And speaking of patience, the number 3 thing that I have learned on this side of 34 is how I view relationships, okay? So whether it be relationships with my friends, whether it be relationships with a person, like as far as romantically, I've learned that it's okay, okay? It's very much okay to have boundaries and space with relationships, no matter who that may be, okay, as far as in your life or what they may be to you. And it goes back to my number 1 thing of saying that you have to learn how to set boundaries. You have to learn how to protect your space when it needs to be protected. You have to learn how to be content with being on your own. And what I have learned in the last couple of months, okay, before turning 34, is that, whether it be friendship or relationship, you don't own that person and that person doesn't own you. Bottom line, okay? You don't own that person doesn't own you. Therefore, that person has free will. That person has free will to decide in their life on who they're going to wake up the next day and choose to be. And when I say that, I'm meaning that if somebody is choosing to be with you, whether it be a friendship or a romantic relationship, it's because of free will, meaning that they're wanting to make it work. This is my perception of free will. Now, I know other people's perceptions of free will may be like, oh, well, the person can go out and do whatever they want and just the friendship or relationship, just whatever it is. But no, free will is the person being able to physically wake up and choose to say, I am going to still choose to love you unconditionally, or still choose to be your friend non-judgmentally, and still, if there's that a word, I don't know, keep going. But you get what I'm saying, though. The point I'm trying to make is that I've had to learn that boundaries, having healthy friendships, healthy relationships, it all comes into a play of understanding boundaries, understanding emotional, as far as connections and stuff like that. Like, I've had to understand all of that, okay? I've had to understand how all of that works, because for me, I drive off of my emotions, okay? I know it's a flaw. I always try to say that, I can be this person to where I don't think from a heart perspective and just think with my mind. But unfortunately, it doesn't work for me. I've always been an emotionally driven person, and because of that, it hasn't caused me to make the best choices. Is whether it be relationships or friendships. But what I've had to learn is that having healthy friendships, having healthy relationships, romantically dating, whatever the case, all of that is good, just as long as you understand boundaries in it, meaning that learn how to be your own learn how to be your own individual self, no matter what you are as far as in that relationship to that person. Learn how to have your own individual identity. Okay, so I would just leave it at that. Okay, now are we on number 3 or number 4? Well, I might give y'all 6 just in case, because listen, 35 is approaching, 40 is almost here, and my mind can't sit here and remember like it used to. So we just gonna call this number 4. Okay, now the next thing that I have learned, as far as when it comes to on this side of 34, is that I've had to learn how to really do soul searching and accountability. And when I say that, is that I always like to do a mental check with myself to hold myself accountable to anything that I may be doing wrong or may have done wrong towards others or may not be doing right in my life or things that I may need to work on myself. Accountability sits and goes a long way with me for a lot of reasons, because of the fact that it keeps me grounded, okay, as a person. Okay, it keeps me very aware as far as what is going on within me, because I feel like a lot of times we as people, because we're not perfect, it's hard for us to see the error in our own ways. So I would say that I've learned a lot of accountability in terms of learning as far as where I went wrong at. Not so much as thinking about other people, but where I went wrong at, okay? So I've had to learn a lot and really go through a lot in terms of really trying to work on myself and be a better person, not just for me, but for others. And, and to really just, tap in to just really like anchoring myself and saying, you know what, if I did mess up, it's okay. As long as I'm aware of that, if I choose to make whatever it is wrong, right, that's fine. Okay, that's my business and nobody else's. And that's how it should be. Okay, so I'm going to leave that at that. Number 5. Okay, the last thing that I have learned. The last very thing that I have learned is really to embrace my physical like self, whether that be sexuality, whether that be imperfections that I have going on with me physically. I've learned to embrace a lot of my insecurities, okay, on this side of 34, on before turning 34, that is. And what I mean by that is that for a long time, even though, yeah, I'm 6'8", and I know a lot of people that may be watching me for the first time may find that hard to believe, but I really am 6'8". At this point, I've stopped trying to prove it. Either you're going to sit here and believe it, either you're not. I mean, it is what it is. But I've had to learn how to embrace like all of my, just whatever I have going on, whether it be I'm gay, whether it be I got, deformities, like just everything. Like I've had to learn how to embrace all of my imperfections. And the reason why I say that is because of the fact that for the longest, I was so insecure. I remember going to a bar. And there was a guy I was walking past outside of the bar, and the guy thought I was cute, and he had said something to his friends as I walked past, like, "Oh, he's fine, da, 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 da." And somebody else that I knew mutually, as I was walking, I heard them talking behind me, and it was like, "You think that he's cute? Ugh." And for the longest, that crippled me. Like, out of all of the things that stuck in my head, even though the guy had complimented me and thought I was cute and told all his friends, but for the one guy in that group who I knew mutually, okay, I knew him, okay, he lives in Atlanta. I'm not calling no names, but you know who you are, okay? And we was at Einstein's one night, and he gonna just blatantly, as I walked by to his friends who had said that I was cute or fine or whatever, that you think that he's cute as if, bitch, like it's something wrong with me. Okay? Now I know I may not be the sharpest tool in the shed, but last time I checked, please believe, okay? I know that I'm definitely not the dullest tool in the shed, okay? I got something going on, okay? And it don't matter what other people think about you. As long as you feel secure in yourself is all that matters. So learning how to be confident, learning how to be okay with my sexuality, learning how to not have others to define who I am, learning to not apologize for being who I am, whether that be this overly emotionally sensitive, driven person, whether it be that, I'm not the most buffest as far as like, work out in the gym every day, whether it be, I'm not the freakiest, person out there on the planet that like to do all of this other stuff, hoopra, but just learning how to accept that I am simply me, okay? Learning how to accept I am simply Tristan, okay? And that's it. Just learning to accept that I am simply Tristan and that I cannot change who I am. I cannot change that I'm 6'8". I cannot change that I'm emotionally driven. I cannot change, okay, that I'm gay. I cannot change that I like men, okay? At this point, it's like almost a running joke, I felt like at one point, because of the fact that it was just like me trying so hard to kid myself to like, no, you can change, okay? No, this is who I am, okay? This is who I am. So every time I post a picture, I may put hashtag black gay man. It's not because of me trying to flaunt it and rub it in people's faces. It's just me validating myself to say, yeah, I'm comfortable with being who I am, because for the longest, I tried being this other person, and this other person I didn't like. I was not happy with, okay? So now it's like I'm taking the reins. I'm doing things on my own accord, and whoever don't like it, they can get off, okay? They can get off. Because one thing I've understood in life is that when you get to the point of where you don't need people in terms of to validate you, because you've already done the work on yourself, it don't matter. Listen to me carefully. It don't matter what other people think about you, because you have to learn how to love on yourself. Okay? So learning to love on myself, whether it be I take myself out on a date, whether it be I buy myself something nice. Listen, it's not waiting for others to validate you. It's just learning how to validate yourself and learning how to be happy with yourself. Do I still have my bad days where I still sit here and struggle and I have to do self-checks? Yes, it goes back to, once again, the accountability thing, holding myself to a standard to say, okay, yeah, I had a bad day, but let's see what we can do to continue on fixing this. You're going to have 4 minutes to feel sorry for yourself. Now let's move on and let's see how we can continue on to the next day so that things continue to progress in the right direction, because it's all about moving forward in life, never backwards, okay? Understand that. So it's just like now, I'm at a place of where I feel like that everything is finally, for me, mentally, emotionally, physically, is coming into alignment to where it's just like, I feel like I'm finally getting to the point where I feel like I need to be as an individual. I feel like there's still a lot of work to do, but that's okay though, because once again, Rome was not built in a day, and everybody has their own journey to sit here and take in life. So I hope that this has helped you in some way. It's just my little, rant before turning 34 in a couple of more weeks. And let me know what you think in the comments. If you've had struggles or things that you've learned about yourself before turning whatever you about to turn or have turned, leave a comment, okay? That's what we're here for, to help each other. Until next time, my fun sizers, I got to go take a shower because I've been gone all day. Yeah, that part. All right, bye.